Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today, our topic is street food. If you want eat the best, visit a famous restaurant. If you want beat the best, visit a street food. Street food, I believe, is the salvation of the human race. Street food is prepared or cooked food sold by vendors in a street or other public location for immediate consumption. Some disturbance is coming. Please mute yourself, Ms. Priyanka. Street food consists of ready-to-eat foods or drinks sold by a hawker or vendor in a street or other public place, such as at a market or fair. It is often sold from a portable food booth, food cart, or food truck and meant for immediate consumption. Some street foods are regional, but many have spread beyond their region of origin. Most street foods are classified as both finger food and fast food and are typically cheaper than restaurant meals. The types of street food varies among regions and cultures in different countries around the world. According to a 2007 study from the Food and Agriculture Organization, 2.5 billion people eat street food every day. A majority of middle-income consumers rely on the quick access and cheap service of street food for daily nutrition and job opportunities, especially in developing countries. Today, people may purchase street food for a number of reasons, such as convenience to get flavorful food for a reasonable price in a sociable setting, prompt service to try ethnic cuisine, or for nostalgia. Rising concerns of street food includes health hazards and sanitation issues, illegal uses of public or private areas, social and ethical problems, and traffic congestion. In ancient Greece, small fried fish were a street food. Evidence of a large number of street food vendors was discovered during the excavation of Pompeii. Street food was widely consumed by poor urban residents of ancient Rome whose tenements homes did not have owns or hearths. Chickpea soup with bread and grain paste were common meals. In ancient China, street food generally catered to the poor through wealthy residents would send servants to buy street food and bring it back for them to eat in their homes. Street food vending is found all around the world, but varies greatly between regions and cultures. Indian street food is as diverse as Indian cuisine. Every place has its own specialties to offer. Some of the more popular street food dishes are vada pav, misal pav, chole bhature, parathas, bhel puri, sev puri, golgappa, aloo tikki, kebabs, tandoori chickens, samosas, kachori, idli, dosa, pohe, egg bhurji, pav bhaji, pulao, pakoda, lassi, kulfi, faluda, etc., etc. In Hindi-speaking regions of India, street food is popularly known as nukkad wala food, corner food. In South India, foods like mirchi bhaji, punugulu, and moka jona, corn roasted on coal, are common street foods, along with breakfast items like idli, dosa, and bonda. While some vendors streamline the recipes of popular dishes to sell them on the street, several restaurants have taken their inspirations from the street food of India. Because of differences in culture, social satisfaction, and history, the ways in which family street vendor enterprises are traditionally created and run vary in different areas of the world. Often, women's success in the street food market depends on the trend of gender equality. This is evidenced in Bangladesh, where few women are street vendors. However, in Nigeria and Thailand, women dominate the street food trade. Street food vendors produce economic benefits beyond their families because street food vendors purchase local fresh foods. Urban gardens and small scale farms in the area have expanded. In the United States, street food vendors are credited with supporting New York City's rapid growth by supplying meals for the city's merchants and workers. Prop- Proprietors of street food in the United States have had a goal of upward mobility, moving from selling on the street to their own shops. In 2002, Coca-Cola reported that China, India, and Nigeria were some of its fastest growing markets, markets where the company's expansion efforts included training and equipping mobile street vendors to sell its products. Netflix has also featured the street foods of the world through its popular TV series Street Food, with the first volume focusing on Asia and second on Latin America. As early as the 14th century, government officials oversaw street food vendor activities. With the increased pace of globalization and tourism, the safety of street food has become one of the major concerns of public health and a focus for governments and scientists to raise public awareness. However, despite concerns about contamination at street food vendors, the incidence of such is low, with studies showing rates comparable to restaurants. In 2002, a sampling by the World Health Organizations of 15 street foods in Calcutta showed that they were nutritionally well balanced, providing roughly 200 calories of energy per rupee of cost. The street foods play an important socio-economic role in meeting food and nutritional requirements of city consumers at affordable price to the lower and middle income groups and are appreciated for their unique flavors and convenience. Street foods are a sure food security for low income urban population and livelihood for a significant population of the in many developing countries. Street food vendors are a self-employed category of small entrepreneurs who are not dependent on any institutional structures to find their livelihoods. Their enterprises evolve exclusively around their own individual strengths and the support extended to them by their immediate social network, such as family members and other close associates. The earnings from their business enterprises are a means of living for the vendors themselves and their dependent family members. As such, these economic activities of the street food vendors have not only provided a source of livelihood to the vendors and their dependent family members, but also have reduced the plight of their becoming an economic and social burden on the state. Street food satisfies the food consumption need of a significant section of the population. The food sold on the street is relatively cheap and readily available. It is sometimes brought to the doorsteps of the consumers. Street food, therefore, not only meets the food requirements, particularly of those of the low income categories, but also the busy customers who do not have much time either to prepare their own food or to go to other eating houses where probably the food is more expensive and servicing is time consuming. Street vendors face unique kind of livelihood risks because of the legal, physical, and socio-cultural environment in which they work. The most pressing and ongoing risk for many street vendors is the possibility that local government authorities will forcibly remove them from the streets or confiscate their merchandise. This risk of displacement often increases in the context of elections, mega events, or efforts to beautify historic city centers. Just like formal business operators, street vendors are less productive in unstable institutional environments where rules are irregular and unpredictable. Street traders face more routine occupational hazards as well. Many must lift and haul heavy loads of goods to and from their point of sale each day. The physical environment in which they work typically lack proper infrastructure, such as clean running water, toilets, and solid waste removal. Street vendors are exposed to physical harm from the improper provision of fire safety equipment and the improper regulation of traffic in commercial areas. They are also exposed to a high concentration of air pollutant and to inclement weather. These physical risks take a particular toll on young children who must accompany their mothers to vend in the streets. Given the growing number of street food vendors and the customers who patronize them, the issues and problems the vendors encounter need special attention of the authorities concerned. Income and earning risks are also common to many street vendors. Harassment on the part of local authorities, including evictions, confiscation of merchandise, and demands for bribes, is a common source of income risk for street vendors. And to discuss this very special topic, street food, we have a very elite, experienced, learned, and those who have the knowledge of this subject panel with us. I would like to invite my first guest, and he is Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS. Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS is one-man expert commission on labor to prepare an action plan for the welfare and development of the workforce in the context of COVID-19. He was former head of the Disaster Management Government of India and Central Draft Relief Commissioner Government of India. He is also the principal advisor Government of India Heritage Project. He was the Vice Chancellor of National Museum, University of Delhi. He has authored 40 books in English, Malayalam, and Hindi, including novels, short stories, and essays. 4 of his books have become bestsellers. 4 books on Vastu and architecture, and 1 book on housing received prestigious the Sharjah International Book Fair Award. Dr. Bose is an housing expert, innovator, writer, orator, and visionary. The path-breaking institutions set up by him, such as Nimriti Kendra, Building Center, District Tourism Council, and Habitat Alliance have been replicated at the state, national, and global level. He was the head of the prestigious Supreme Court Committee on the Treasures of Sri Padma Baswami Temple. Dr. Bose addressed United Nations General Assembly and specialized sessions 5 times on various international issues. Dr. Bose is a recipient of 31 national and international awards, including United Nations Global Best Practice Award. He also received prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru Fellowship. Kerala government termed him Lord of Ideas. Former Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh called him inspired civil servant, and our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi called him Man of Ideas. Welcome, Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, on our show. Dr. Bose, you are a specialized person and you are submitting your report as a one-man expert commission on labor. The government of India in the first package gave a loan 10,000 rupees to all the street hawkers. And in your earlier reports, which because we are discussing every week, you have mentioned how the reports which you have submitted were for the recommendation for the migrants, laborers, even artists, and many other fields. Now, we would like to know from you about the street food. Street food, Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel. India has a great gastronomical heritage. Our food culture, our cuisine, are vast and varied. As you rightly mentioned, we have a long list of cuisine which has stood the test of time and earned the appreciation and approbation of generations. Yes, we have the Pani Puri, Aloo Chaat, Dokla, Pav Bhaji, Idli Vada, the list goes on and on and on. During the pandemic, when we were all locked down in our houses, we rediscovered the value of our ethnic cuisine. It is the mothers of this country, the housewives, who run the country. It is said that the kitchen cabinet is still running the country. Who kept us above starvation? The farmers and the housewives. We rediscovered the value of the mother's kitchen. I think that is certainly a plus point. Now, why should we prefer the mother's food or the homemade food? You know, the Indian homemade food is medically recommended by even experts. What gave us the immunity to resist the fierce COVID in these days? This immunity was created because of the strength, the inner strength that was given to us by the mother's food. You know, most of the Indian food is spicy, and these spices have a therapeutic value. Haldi, for instance, haldi is a kind of cure-all for all kinds of diseases. And we have the black pepper. The medicinal property of black pepper cannot be disputed. And we have the basil of the tulsi, which is supposed to cure many diseases and be an antidote against many attacking germs. Similarly, we have a tremendous variety of spices which have medicinal value, which enriches the Indian food, the mother's kitchen. Now, in the lockdown period, many of the enterprising housewives, especially in the metropolitan cities, they came forward developing homemade food into a business, making the food at home and delivering it online through the delivery agencies. That is catching up everywhere in India. And the younger generation also have decided the importance of Indian food, the mother's food, and they started preferring it to the fast food, which they once had a craze for. Therefore, I find a lot of changes that can take place in the food sector. This can perhaps be a game changer. Every kitchen can now become a workplace where every mother becomes a foodpreneur, like entrepreneur. Yes, the mother cooks the food, the son delivers it in the two-wheeler, the husband procures the raw materials, keeps the account, does the marketing, and coordinates the whole show. I think our Prime Minister said of Atma Nirbhar Bharat. I find in this Atma Nirbhar home, every housewife can be turned into an income-generating entrepreneur if we realize the potentials of this. But government also has to do quite a lot of things. As Mr. Goel has rightly pointed out, during the peak of the COVID, in the measures that were initiated and announced by the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister, there was this seemingly insignificant action that is 10,000 rupees for the street vendors. That is not a seemingly, it is a great asset to the housewives. I would say, I would also recommend to the government what is called the help at home scheme. You give not only this 10,000 rupees to the intending housewife, also give her all gadgets, modern gadgets and cooking utensils and whatever is required for equipping her kitchen to provide food and enter into the food business from home. And there can also be certain other steps which government can take. So where the mother or the housewife can cook food in her home and deliver it through other agencies, delivery agencies. A few women can join together and there can be community kitchens set up by the panchayat or in the town. There can also be clusters which government can promote, like the Delhi had for, which we have in Delhi. There can be street food joints developed by government in various towns and cities, providing basic amenities at government expenses. But the housewife also has to be aware, because when you are an entrepreneur, when you are starting a kind of startup, there are certain essential steps which one has to go. Yes, you should first see a market survey. How much is the possibility of selling your stuff there? And secondly, your kitchen has to be redesigned. All the necessary equipment have to be installed. The hygienic conditions have to be observed, and the food safety licenses has to be obtained. And for this, don't make the housewife go from pillar to post in government offices. Government has to send its officers to the housewife, to the home, to see that they are given licenses and whatever is required for smoothness of business. And the marketing. The marketing, either the lady herself can take up the marketing as a household affair, or there are delivery systems and marketing networks which can be used for this purpose. the panchayats, the local bodies, they should see that they encourage the housewives who come in this field. So therefore, I think this is certainly a great step towards the Atma Nirbhar home. There can perhaps be the Rosgar. I think Rasoi is a Rosgar. Such a program can be launched where every woman, every housewife becomes an entrepreneur of her own. And now, where does the strength lie in our housewives? That is where this great business has its potential. As you know, the one industry which did not have a setback during COVID days is a food industry. You see, the food industry only thrived at that time. And even the packaged food, there are not enough stock. When we placed the online orders, we had to wait for weeks to get it. And in India's case, the fifth largest industry is the food industry. And India's food industry, along with groceries, is the sixth largest in the world. Therefore, there's a tremendous potential in homemade food. And even in a place, I come from Kerala, I find that on the streets, we see household meals, housewives who are staying in small houses on the street, on the side of the road. They have opened up their own home restaurants, which is a highly favored destination now, even for the tourists who come from abroad. So I think we have rediscovered the greatness of Indian cuisine, especially the ethnic cuisine. We have rediscovered the greatness, the entrepreneurial greatness of our mothers. And now, before I conclude it now, since we are here for the global TV, which is based out in Mangalore, in the Mahabharata, who won the war? The Pandavas or the Kauravas? Nobody won the war. The Kauravas were vanquished. Of course, the Pandavas survived, but all their children were killed. So who won the war? The only person who won the war was the king of Udupi. The king of Udupi, his weapon was not the sword. His weapon was not the arrow. His weapon was food. All kings joined one side or the other. The king of Udupi decided, I will not join any side. I will serve both sides in an acceptable manner. How is it possible? Krishna also helped him. The king said, I will provide food for all the soldiers, whether they belong to Kaurava side or Pandava side. They need food. The king prepared food for everyone. Everyone was satisfied. Even those enemies who were fighting in the field, they came to the kitchen of the Udupi king and ate together. And then how did he see? Not a single morsel was wasted. Not a single person was denied food. You know what he did? The typical Udupi style. He saw Krishna. Krishna was in the habit of eating peanuts after a meal. He will count the number of peanuts which Krishna has eaten, multiplied by 1,000. So many soldiers will die tomorrow. So he could exactly count the number of dishes, the number of plates that had to be made. I think the only victory in those days is recorded by the king of Udupi because he used the food. And how did he combat COVID? This battle also, we won, India won, because we had no dearth of food. This battle was won by the housewives of India. They proved once again they are second to none. Therefore, Indian homemade food has a potential of being developed into one of the world's largest industries and make the Indian women the entrepreneurs of the world. I think I will reply to you in case I am given a chance next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bose, for giving such an enlightening talk, opening remarks about the street food. And what Dr. Bose says, that street food is a very traditional food of India, and the cuisine is favorable for everyone. The only thing he says that yes, because of the it's in unorganized sector, but now the government, this present government in the first package has given the 10,000 rupees to the street hawkers, as well as he says that because the mother kitchen, which he termed as a mother's kitchen, because he says that during the COVID time, everybody was survived because of the homemade food. And he says the homemade food flavor, because it's all fresh food, and when it is served, definitely the people are relishing it for the health purpose also, because it's having all the spices, etc. And what he says, he being a one-man expert commission, Dr. Bose is recommending to the government that for the street food, for the development of street food, to provide not only 10,000 rupees to the women, but also all the necessary equipments which is required in the kitchen, as well as about the utensils. So he says by this way, the housewife will be involved in cooking food, the son or the daughters will be involved taking the foods to the supplies, and the husband will be involved by bringing the raw materials or doing the marketing exercise, etc. The entire family will be involved for doing this street food. And he says, he has even given the example that street food, the food is such an important thing. He said that even in the time of Mahabharata, when the Kauravas and Pandavas were fighting, the king of Udupi, he went and he said that I will not side one of the side, but I will be providing food. And the food he has provided. So according to Dr. Bose, and as per the Mahabharata, the ultimate victory was of King Udupi. So the food is a very, very integral part. And in India, we have such a delicious street food. Everything is available because we have a different cuisines from north to south and from east to west. So what, according to Dr. Bose, if it will be done in organized way, which he wants to do it now, he has already recommended, subject to the government's approval, which he feels once he will approve, send the recommendation, government will definitely consider. And this will be a first step for Atmanirbhar home. Because if you are going for Atmanirbhar Bharat, you have to make the every household self-reliant or the Atmanirbhar. If our one home will become Atmanirbhar, it will be first step for becoming Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you very much, Dr. Bose, for giving such a encouraging thoughts about the street food. And I'm sure that as a chairman of One Man Expert Commission, you are, once you are taking up this matter and you are recommending, definitely the present government will consider it leniently and definitely give some packages so that street food can be developed in India in a very, very big industry. Thank you very much, Dr. Bose. Now I would like to invite my next guest. And my next guest is Miss Khushbu Rivatkar. Miss Khushbu is a IT consultant, actor, model, coach, and show director. She is the brand ambassador of Pro Cucina, modular kitchen brand. She is next National Excellence Award winner, Model of the Year 2018. She is Tata Consultancy Services Super Achiever Women Award 2018. She is also winner of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Memorial Award 2018. She has taken initiatives in social services such as Happy Birthday to Me, Happy Birthday to Us, to celebrate birthday with underprivileged special children. Anadan, let's do our bit to serve food to needy. She has raised awareness through fashion walk and educational talks against acid attack, against rape, breast cancer, child education, menstrual hygiene, health, and well-being. Welcome, Ms. Khushbu Rivatkar on our show. Ms. Khushbu, you have heard what Dr. C.V. Anand Bose has spoken. Now, we would like to know from you the street food. Ms. Khushbu Rivatkar, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Today, the topic you have chosen has really been appreciated by many of my friends. So today, whatever I will share, I will add the thoughts of my friends because they were very much willing to contribute into this thought process that through the street food, we can empower women. So that was a great idea that has been brought up today. So basically, as we know that the street food is consumed not just in India, but across the world by billions of people. And the UN Food and Agriculture has recommended that the hygiene of the food has to be taken care for the street food. And the mainly what they were saying is that the nutrients has to be added to the street food. So one of my friend, Sanjeev, he has mentioned very well that the street food is mainly produced 70 to 60% at home, and only 30 to 40% is done at the premises of where we are serving the food. So basically, the hygiene lies in that 60 to 70% of making of that food. So if that is cooked at home by our, the woman at home, so that will be very well taken care because the hygiene is maintained. So it is a win-win situation for the woman at home, for the customers, and for the hawkers as well. Also, one of my friend who is also working along with me in my company, so she said that that if we add some knowledge to have some like programs where we can educate the underprivileged women who are preparing this street food about the nutrients, like in India, like Ayurveda and yoga is available in an inexpensive manner. So why not the knowledge of the nutrients about the food is available to the women? So they can come up with their own ingenious recipes and different types of cuisines, so that we can have a variety of healthy food available at the street as well. So these are very beautiful thoughts that they have shared with me, and they have also shared that like sir has mentioned that during the COVID times, my friend Shubham from Delhi, he mentioned that there was a lady who was cooking rajma chawal. So she, because she was having no other way to support her family, so she started cooking rajma chawal and started supplying to the people who are going outside during the COVID times, and then that has been very much supported by the government also. So what we need today is to come up with the innovative ideas to maintain the hygiene and also add nutrients to the street food, so that we can have because most of the street food is consumed by the middle income consumers. So if we are providing them the food with hygiene and nutrition, so we will have a healthy healthy population across our world. So these are the thoughts that I would like to share.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Khushbu, for giving your thoughts. And what Ms. Khushbu says that this idea of empowering women because of the street food is a very unique idea. And if we go one step further by training the underprivileged or those women who are cooking food from home and going to send to the for the street as a street food, then it will add the nutrition values which United Nations also recommended. So then it will serve the purpose of a nutrient food on a very, very reasonable rates. It will benefit everyone, including the persons who are eating and as well as those who are selling. So according to her, that this point is very important. If the government or some NGOs or someone can take responsibility to train the underprivileged or all the women who are going to participate in the street food, so then the hygiene as well as the nutrients value of the street food will be there. Thank you very much, Ms. Khushbu, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my next guest, and my next guest is Mr. Manish Khattar. Mr. Manish Khattar is the owner of leading restaurant chain at Noida, the bar company, Baramda Heritage, etc. He is BTech Computer Science and LLB. He was recognized and awarded as the leading restaurateur in Noida. His Baramda Heritage Restaurant was declared as Best Heritage Themed Restaurant in Noida. The bar company was declared as the best nightclub in Noida by the Times Awards. He is actively involved with NGOs for free food distribution to needy and underprivileged. Welcome, Mr. Manish Khattar, on our show. Mr. Manish, you have heard what Dr. C.V. Anand Bose IAS as well as Ms. Khushbu has spoken before. Now you are going to speak. And they emphasize that the street food is such a food that not only provide the on a very reasonable rate the ethnic cuisine, as well as it will generate the employment and empower the women, because after all the food at home is cooked by in India, especially by the women. So if we will encourage this street food, it will definitely empower the women. Now you are a leading restaurateur in Noida, and you are being in this industry, you know the difference between a restaurant food as well as the food available on the street. Although as when I mentioned in my report, I mentioned very clearly that even the leading chains of restaurants now, even the 5-star hotels restaurants are copying those dishes ethnic or conventional dishes of the street food, which they are also offering to their customer on a very, very exorbitant price. Now, we would like to know from you the street food. Mr. Manish Khattar, please.
Hi, Dr. Lal, Dr. Bose. So, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me into this chat show. See, I'm not a good speaker, but I'll try my best to explain what all things have been discussed here. I think everything, most of the things have been discussed by Mr. Lal, Dr. Bose, and Khushbu. So, very little is remaining for me. So, first of all, I would
I think you have muted yourself, Mr. Manish, your voice. Please speak, Mr. Manish. Yeah. I can't hear. Are you listening what Mr. Manish is saying? I am not
No,
listening.
no. Actually, we are not able to hear.
No, Mr. Manish, your voice is not coming. If you are using earphones or something, remove that or just see some problem is there. We can't hear you. Mr. Manish, we can't hear you. Okay. Mr. Manish, once you will be ready, we will take you. I think I should move to the next guest of ours. She is Miss Priyanka Kharbanda. Miss Priyanka Kharbanda is the marketing manager of Jubilant Food Works Limited, which holds the master franchise for Domino's Pizza in India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh, and also for Dunkin' Donuts in India. She is pharmacy graduate and MBA in marketing with certification in public health, nutrition, and IPR. Her endeavor is to continuously learn more while keeping a delicate balance between art and science. With 10 years of vast experience into marketing in the field of healthcare, natural and organic brands, she is passionate about launching brands and drive transformation for the brands. She is ambitious, self-driven personality who has developed a mature and responsible approach to any task or a situation. She loves reading, sketching, and traveling. Welcome, Ms. Priyanka Kharbanda on our show. Ms. Priyanka, you have heard what Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, as well as what Ms. Khushbu Devankar has spoken earlier to you. Now, we would like to know from you, because you being the marketing manager of a very reputed company which holds the master franchise of Domino's Pizza, and I am sure that people knows about Domino's Pizza well as the Dunkin' Donuts. So we would like to know your views about street food. Ms. Priyanka Kharbanda, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Lal, for the invitation. And yes, as you've rightly mentioned, I am into the food business, and we deal into various kind of foods on a day-to-day basis. So I would like to share some of my views and some of my suggestions when it comes to street food, and also how do we empower women with this particular thing. So you know to begin with, I think cooking for women is a by default forte, which we have imbibed from our societal structure. We gradually become the default masters of perfecting classic recipes as per our families or extended families taste bud. So a food related business seems quite in sync for the women workforce to take on with. uh, that's one. So as per today's topic, women's empowerment by street food business, I think it is a huge potential area which is untapped till now. And by providing basic infrastructure, be it as Mr. Bose said, from their home kitchens, or probably setting up some small areas wherein which are designated to provide street food markets, like we have something in Indore in India as a Sarafa market, sorry. So we can have, by providing basic infrastructure, minimum skill based training, as also told by Miss Khushbu, that, if a woman has been basic trained in terms of, to use right amount of oil in their food, use spices, use herbs to make it more nutritionally sound and healthy at the same time, can and some economic support in terms of providing low interest startup loans and tax leverages, it can lead to creation of an entirely new and skilled workforce who are self dependent, financially secure, and all the more confident in steering through the life the way they want. So to achieve this goal, there are two basic needs which I would like to point out. One is to provide legal recognition to street food vending. By legalizing this profession and making it mainstream, it will bring in job security, because we see a lot of enforcement authorities, uh, which comes into play when street food with the street food hawkers, and they're always on a verge of whether they'll take away their stock or create some problem. So it is very important to legalize this particular profession to bring in job security and making more and more people enter into this. It will open business opportunities, and women then can also apply for financial support in terms of loans, etc., to sustain the business. Second important thing is to build up infrastructure in terms of designated places for the vendors to operate, along with providing proper storage facilities. So be it a home kitchen, we'll have to provide equipments, as Dr. Bose was saying, or if we can have markets wherein small markets, as we were mentioning, Delhi Hart, or specific areas in and around a region wherein there is a lane of street food vendors together, selling street foods. It can be in day, it can be night markets are also very common and very widespread phenomena worldwide. It can be brought into India as well. So if we can provide right and basic infrastructure, small stalls or carts or something like that, it can lead to a whole new way of experimenting and taking street food forward. Unlike formal restaurant business, street food vending needs very less investment in terms of infrastructure and equipments and everything, because we'll only serve one or two variety of food per stall or per street, per vendor, and it has a huge potential. So the feasibility seems quite possible. Starting with few, these markets, I think, should grow to many, as it will all multiply to provide more opportunities, easy access to great food in our neighborhoods, and also making the commute for women vendors short and safe from their homes at night. So if it is available at every nook and corner, it will always be beneficial for customers as well as the women street vendors. My submission would be to have an atmosphere of festivity on these specific allocated areas of street market, which also should somewhere reflect the culinary culture and tradition of a particular society. So with proper lighting, neon signboards, well lit cards, and a police watch, and demarcating probably the areas as a vehicle free zone, will break up stretches of darkness and also apprise the feeling of safety and security for everyone to come and enjoy the options available. If we create a market like this, I am sure we will all agree that India's love affair with food is long and legendary, with street food being loved by anyone and everyone. And when the burst of flavors from diverse home kitchens, from mothers, from women, will be wholeheartedly served and relished in these markets, it will lead to a revolution in terms of just not just one sector, but multiple sectors like food business, tourism, women empowerment, as well as gender equality to begin with. So to conclude, I would say we anyways have a considerable population of street vendors, and we all love street food. So if we can rejuvenate this sector, it can significantly affect the lives of many families and bring economic upliftment for the country. Thank you so much, Dr. Lal, for the invitation.
Thank you very much, Ms. Priyanka, for giving your different aspect from marketing side about the street food. And what Ms. Priyanka says, that if we organize this sector, there's a lot of potential. She says that the only problem in India is it's unorganized, and no one has given any attention to the street food. But for the first time, this program which we have organized, And now, as under this guidance of Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, who is recommending this to the government of India, definitely it will be a milestone, because according to Ms. Priyanka, there is a tremendous scope for street food. She says that it can be done in a proper way. It will be marketed, and because we have the food flavors, and the food eating is such a thing which everyone loves, including, she says, even she loves to eat street food. So when this is the situation, if it will be taking, according to Ms. Priyanka, tremendous scope for the street food, and it will definitely empower the women up to a limit, because everyone who wants street food, they knows that the street food is coming from the women. And according to Ms. Priyanka, the women always create or make food with heart. And once it will be served with compassion, definitely people will love it. And there is a tremendous market in as far as the Indian street food is concerned. Thank you very much, Ms. Priyanka, for giving your views about the street food. I'm sure Mr. Manish is there. Mr. Manish, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi.
Yes.
Am I audible
Yes.
now?
Now you are audible. Mr. Manish, you have also heard now, apart from Dr. C.V. Anand Bose and Ms. Khushbu, now Ms. Priyanka has also spoken. And now
Right.
we would like to know from you your views about street food.
So almost, I think all the topics I have been spoken till now, and I mean, thank you so much for making me participating into this chat show. So first of all, see, I would like to say that what I feel is street food is actually not a street food. It is the sentiments of every human being. So I mean, see, if we relate to if we relate this street food to ethnic or cultural thing, I'm definitely sure, because whenever I go or whenever anybody goes to eat a street food, it is, I mean, it is their sentiments which takes them to there. And yes, there are various concerns for the street food. That is why I think most of the restaurant industry it has to be taken care of as well. Is basically hospitality industry here in India is very unorganized. Whether it is a street food or it is a restaurant industry. But yes, street foods actually are very unorganized. So there are various concerns, like there are health hazards, then there are sanitization issues. Then I mean, yes, hawkers, what authorities feel they are using their lands, I mean, as an illegal use. Then there are social and ethical problems as well. Traffic congestion is one of the part, and they are unlicensed and unorganized. So these are the basic things which we need to focus on, and we can actually change the concept of street food in India. Like you see, I mean, see, there are, there's a very good topic which Khushbu came up with, or you told it, that um, we are basically focusing on empowerment for women, and that is one of the best idea wherein we can completely change our society or a street food concept to a woman focused street food concepts in India. I mean, see, every state, every city has its own significance. So if we go to Indore or if we go to Mumbai, we know that yes, there is a street food and we have to go there. So I think that kind of concept we can come up with every state and every city, because every state and every city has its own ethnic values and own customs, you know. So these are things, and I have few ideas which I have noted down. I mean, wherein we can have benefits to implement a changed street food concept, wherein we can have an organized market for the street food. Then I think I would request authorities or government to allot separate place, or I mean, to reserve a separate place for street food, wherein um, yes, a new kind of marketing can be placed, and people can be called here to enjoy the street food in a very safe manner, in a very hygienic manner. Then I mean, see, as these are like, they, if women's are related to this, closely related to this cultural, because if we talk about women, they are closely related to cultural values and ethnic values. So what I would say, they are the best they can be the best masters for the street food. And one more thing I would like to focus is, we can relate this street food concept to a completely new kind of social work as well. Like what I did, I mean, pre-lockdown was like, in a restaurant perspective view, I asked a lot of my clients to, make a homely kind of food for the needy people, and I took one day from that from that schedule, and told them to get it prepared from their homes and distribute it to the needy people. That we can introduce in a street food concept as well. I mean, that would be a new thing to go on. So that is a whole thing where I would like to tell the authorities and the government to focus on these things and change the concept.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Manish, for giving your views. And what Mr. Manish says, that this street food, because he has mentioned about Indore and Mumbai, how the tourist hubs they have become, and he also mentioned, because the woman is always ethical, considered to be more ethical, and definitely they are ethical. So the food which they are going to prepare will be definitely in a good, proper hygiene condition, which will be served as a street food. And according to him, everyone wants to eat street food. The only thing is, it's an unorganized sector. He wants that the government should come out with some directions or something where they can have a specific areas where the street vendors can go and sell the street food like that. And so according to Mr. Manish also, the street food can change the scenario, because it will empower the women in a very, very big way. Thank you very much, Mr. Manish, for giving your views. Now my question is to Dr. Bose. Dr. Bose, you have heard all the three our other panelists. Now, one thing is very clear, this initiative, and when you are going to recommend, as you have mentioned, that you are planning to recommend about the initiatives for the street food. One thing is there that specific areas, like I will give you an example. In India, we have a Chappan Dukan in Indore, which is a food hub, and it has become a tourist hub. Whosoever is visiting Indore, they would like to go at least once, because although this market is in the night, but they used to go there if they are staying overnight, and they used to eat there. Why not we expand such type of things all over India with government cooperation, because this is not possible without the government cooperation, which I'm sure once you are making recommendations, you can take these things. And we would like to know now from you, what other recommendations you are planning to do. I will just give one more example of USA. USA, they have a whole food market owned by Amazons, the shops, where they are putting a full-fledged buffet, which is having all cuisine available in the world. So more than thousands and thousands types of varieties of food parts are available there. People are going, whether it's from IT sector, from whosoever, they just take, it's a self-service, fill up their box, wait it, and they immediately go out and eat and go for the work. Now, if this type of concept can be started in India with the support from the government, like midday meal scheme is going on, but it is done by either the big houses or corporate houses or whatnot. But if we will start the midday meals from with the help of the housewives, then also we can empower. Now, we would like to know your views after listening all the participants, as well as your own views about the street food. Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel. For me, it was a great learning experience to listen to Khushbu, Priyanka, and Manish. Certainly, hands-on experience which they have transferred to me. As Manish said, governmental intervention and help is required if such a massive operation, which is there throughout the country, has to succeed. I can narrate 3 instances of my exposure to the street food industry. In Delhi, I had a driver, Raju, who is from Tamil Nadu. Raju once told me that when he came to Delhi, he started a street food joint on the pavement in front of Hotel Ashoka. He said a roaring business because he was selling idli, sambar, vada, dosha, all the South Indian stuff. A lot of takers were for that. He said he would make 60,000 rupees a month, which is a very big amount for him. Then I asked him, why did he leave it? He said, the first few days, roaring business. Then comes a policeman and threatens him. How dare you encroach upon this land? Then somebody told him, there is a way of dealing with the police. Set apart some amount for that. He did. After some time comes the municipal authorities. Who gave you permission to be here? Again, set apart some money. Then comes the local goons. If you had to do any business here, you had to do our bidding. That also he could. Then I said, then why did you leave it? He said, all the cops will come, the officers will come, they will start eating from their no payment. That also he could cope up with. Then he said, many of the officers, particularly for the police, they would ask him to send parcels to their homes. He said, sir, I could not survive there. That is incident number 1 from the street. Maybe Raju was not street smart. Now there is a street smart vendor in New York. He started a small shop. On the payments, we have the petty shops there also. That was opposite the department store of Donald Trump. This fellow flaunted a board in front of his petty shop. Milk, $20 a liter or so. And opposite in Trump's store, it was $15. Then this fellow again lowered his price, $12. Trump, $10. Then he lowered his price, this vendor, $5. And Trump did not respond. So somebody asked him, how can I compete with a giant like Trump? You're a petty businessman. How can you do that? He said, I'm a better businessman than him. Why? I never sold milk here. I just put up about $20 per day. He lowered it 50. I said 10. He lowered it 5. Now, I buy milk from New Jersey for $2 and send it for $5. Who helped me in marketing my stuff? Trump. So there are street smart vendors are also there. The third instance is, when I was district collector, many women came and said they have no job. So that was 5 minutes before that. The Food Corporation of India workers came and said, they have no restaurant or food joint near their place of work. So I asked the women, why don't you start serving them? Then the municipality, I also happened to be the head of the municipality at that time, gave them a modern kitchen. They came, they cooked. Then how to distribute? This is 35 years back. How to distribute this kind of door delivery system is not there at all at that time. The van was purchased and given to them. And a society was formed, the Annapurna Society, which was thriving, maybe one of the first in this mobile restaurant business. There are women who have the competence. If, as Manish said, government also gives them a helping hand. I think this homemade food industry can be developed into a great industry. I think it is Priyanka or Kushbu who said, I take an idea from them. See, we have different ethnic cuisine in different parts of the country. Why don't we develop it in a brand? It can be an international brand, It can be one brand or many brands. And we can market it even abroad. See, look at in New York, there are so many Indian restaurants doing very well. And Chinese restaurants are popular everywhere in the world. So are the Thai restaurants. Indian restaurants are also popular, but as you know, London has got a lot of Indian restaurants, but they're all very, very expensive. I think we should have a package where Indian food will be marketed outside and profit can be made, reasonable profit can be made for the housewives. And there in London, as some of you would have known, Jamaican restaurants. Every weekend, people are flocking to the Jamaican restaurants that are in the outskirts of London. good food, genuine food, authentic food, which is prepared in front of you. No artificial stuff is used, no chemicals, no preservatives, no additives. And more than that, the service is done by the housewife and the family. There is a family touch, See, the way to the heart is through the stomach. And suddenly, if you are satisfied with the customers, they will declare for next 1 hour, there will be 50% reduction is there. This is not inflating the price and bringing it down. There's a craze now for home food. I think this is a market which we have to take advantage of. Number two, see, I'm nobody to say what people a person should eat, whether you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian. That's a personal choice. But 70% of the vegetarians in the world are in India, and most of the homemade food is vegetarian. I think there is a strong case for the projecting the Indian brand of vegetarian food. And vegetarians have a lot of takers. Vegetarians at one time were called Pythagoreans because Pythagoras was a vegetarian. So many great artists were vegetarian. Bernard Shaw was a vegetarian. He said, I do not want my belly to be a sepulchre of beasts. Gandhiji said, the life of a lamb and the life of a human being are all important. I will never take lamb for my preservation. And then Einstein was a vegetarian, and Edison was a vegetarian. Rachel Carson said, people will never get peace unless you stop killing the others. Therefore, there is a strong case for vegetarianism. This has a business aspect in that. Because as I said, 70% of the vegetarians in the world are in India. And most of the homemade food are also vegetarian. This is not to disappoint Mangaloreans, and particularly since there's TV in Mangalore. Of course, the great, Mangalore fish, I'm not discrediting that. Let the non-vegetarians take what they want. But the vegetarians have a field day. The Indian brand of vegetarians, Indian brand of ethnic cuisine, taking all over the world. I think we can say, showing our housewives, we can say, Chanda, Unja, Amara. Yes, we can conquer the world through the food. That is what Indian mothers have chosen. Shown us. Number two, the international aspects of this. 8 to 95 billion is the food industry now in India. After COVID, since we have rediscovered the value of the home food, I'm sure that there's a twofold increase in the food business. Tremendous opportunity is there. Now, look at Holland. See, Holland is a nation which does not have any wherewithal for agriculture, but Holland feeds the entire Europe. It is estimated that by 2050, the world will need double the amount of food which all the agriculturists in the world in the last 8,000 years have produced. Tremendous is the scope which the world offers for the food industry. I think this is certainly the time when we should focus on this. And I accept it with all humility. Yes, government has to see the greatness of this work, and government has to come and support, especially the youngsters. Like in agriculture, we have agripreneurship. In business, we have entrepreneurship. I think we should have foodpreneurship. The youngsters should all be trained and taught. There should be skilling and multi-skilling organizations about this. Branding should be there. Marketing should be there. India can conquer the world through the food industry. We all speak about soft power. When we speak of soft power, we speak only about art, culture, and literature or heritage. Cuisine is also a great part of the soft power. I think India is ready to build up on this soft power and showcase it the whole of India. I would say India Food Festival should be held periodically in all leading cities of the world, so that the world comes to know what India is, what the Indian mothers can make. I think this is the right time, and you have holding this discussion at the right moment. I would request the three young friends who are participating in this. You have the first-hand knowledge of this. I cannot cook, I can only eat. So please tell me, please give me what are the recommendations which you want me to present to the government of India. Because since you are in the field, and I know from your track record, you're all excellent in your respective fields. It's very encouraging for all people like me, even to see such youngsters, public youngsters. Please give me your recommendations. A good part of it will certainly go into the reports of the government of India. And I hope that this meeting may become a pioneering step towards the growth of the food industry, especially the homemade food industry in India. Thank you.
Uh, Sorry to interrupt, Goel sir. Your voice is not audible to me.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Because some disturbance is coming from outside. I'm not at my regular place. I'm receiving some
Okay.
disturbance, so I put myself on mute. Thank you very much, Dr.
Okay.
C.V. Anand Bose, for giving a very much thumbs up, and especially to the media conference, that this particular media conference will become a milestone or the starting thing for this street food. Thank you very much. If definitely, if we will be able to contribute something for the street food, in turn, the empowerment of women will be very, very happy. Now, I would like to go to Miss Khushbu. Miss Khushbu, you are been associated with lots of social work, and especially with the Annadan you have doing and serving food to needy. And you are from Mumbai, and you know in Mumbai, the fast food is a street food is I must say the maximum street food is available in Mumbai. I can tell you a figure about 5 million, about 50 lakhs idlis are consumed every day in Mumbai. And these idlis are prepared right from Dahisar, Virar, Mira Road, and beyond that. And every day in the early morning, I'm talking of pre-COVID area, and every day in the morning, those idlis were transported to the South Mumbai and other parts of Mumbai, where people used to have the breakfast of idli. Now, you and other panelists have mentioned about the organized sector. Now, to organize it is not that easy, even for the government, because after all, it's such a huge industry in unorganized sector. But definitely, it can be organized if the NGOs come forward and make a cooperative society type of things, like we have a Amul cooperative society in Anand, Gujarat. Similar type of things where those who are involved in particular industry, who are making the food street foods every day, and which, like mentioned, that 60 to 70% street food is from the home, and only 30 to 40% is cooked there. So this 60-70%, if it can be organized properly in a proper way with the help of NGOs, then what you say, whether the NGOs will come forward, because this type of thought might not have struck earlier. But now, if when we have started having this discussion, and when the recommendation of Dr. Bose will go to the government, definitely government will try to do whatsoever they can do. But until as the NGOs will not come forward. So my question to you is, would you like as an NGO to come forward and try to create the atmosphere so the women, especially the women, will contribute in a organized way in the street food? What do you say about this, Ms. Khushbu?
Yes, sir. Very well said. Because even during the discussion also, I was like, Mr. Bose has. I'm very thankful to him that he has provided a platform where we can put our thoughts and he can take it to the higher level. So I'm really grateful for that. At the same time, I feel like government can't be everywhere. We are a huge population, and to monitor that huge population is not an easy task. So why not to come up with some small group of people for monitoring the hygiene part? So like you have said, and fortunately you have come up with immediately with the NGO thing. So definitely we have a trust and faith on NGOs, considering the social background they come up with. They are empowered and they are being given the authority to monitor the hygiene and sanitization part of the food. Then definitely this will be a great catalyst to achieve our goals. So yes, I agree with you, and I feel like there could be, like you have mentioned, Amul cooperative societies. Like we can also come up with some franchises, some innovative ideas wherein we don't have to every time depend on government. government can give and empower some group of people wherein they can go and they can do the inspection, because that inspection or auditing part also takes a lot of time. So why, Mr. Bose has shared few examples that few street hawkers, they started and they started earning very nicely, like for idli in Delhi. So, but then there were few problems that happened and he had to stop doing it. So why not we come up with some group of people who will also monitor this legalization issues also. So just depending on one government body, and then just thinking by the time they will do, we will then start. Rather than we should come up some immediate group of people and give authority, give training and to them, even for this nutritional awareness. We can come up with some programs for those group of people. So it will be very excited for people also to talk about the nutritional value. We have n number of dietitians in India. We talk a lot. I come from modeling and acting industry, and we always want to know what is good about the food and all that. I personally feel the way, see, the street food is of two types: fast food, and the secondly, it is like finger food. So we need, we go to street to eat something in which is having, like, we can eat quickly. So why not we use Indian cuisines to become like a fast food here in Mumbai? Gujarati food, Maharashtrian food is so healthy, and at the same time we can eat it in a quickly manner. But the thing is, we mostly visit some foods. I'm not against any of the brand, but then they are mostly made up of maida, which is not healthy. So why not we come up with some Indian kind of fast food brands wherein we can promote them at the global level. So that will also bring up, a nutritional value to people all around the world. Because when I was visiting France and other countries, there people were asking me to bring Indian masalas along with me, because they are so fond of masalas and spices. And now in the COVID times, we have understood the value of it also. So if we come up with some kind of this Indian cuisines also, like a fast food, so I think it will be a great value to humanity also.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Khushbu. Now, my question goes to Mr. Manish. Mr. Manish, you being at Noida, and Noida, as we know that it has developed in last few years or few decades. Why not we make it a law or rule or compulsion to all the cooperative society, which are commercial building societies, which are going to have offices, shops, etc., to leave a particular area only for street food vendors. Like you might have seen in other parts, even in Delhi, even in Mumbai, all the offices people during the lunchtime, they are coming out and they are roaming on the road, main road, and try to eat whatsoever is available. And then it creates the problem of the traffic congestion. Then the police roles comes. But if the law is changed, whenever a commercial complex is to be built, they must provide, like they have something like in a housing complex or a commercial complex, the housing complex, now the hospital is compulsory or a clinic is compulsory. Why not we have a street food types of things compulsory in a particular commercial society? So the office people who are working there, they need not to go, or the shopkeepers need not to go to the road, and thus creating a law and order problem on the road or the traffic problem. And the street food people, vendors, can definitely get the place is hygiene place, as you have also wanted that some clusters where with street food. What you say about this, Mr. Manish?
Sir, I think that's a very good idea. But the only problem here is again the authorities. I mean, the people who are making the commercial places or the corporate places. If there's a land of somewhere around 5 acres and there's a there will definitely be a commercial space as well. So if they will make a street food kind of thing, I mean, nobody would take their commercial place for the restaurants and this thing for them. I mean, see, your idea is good, but rather than coming up with every commercial or corporate place, there can be a place wherein a sector can have a single place. If we combine 2-3 sectors, or if we combine 2-3 a kind of area, like 2-3 kilometers kind of area can be done, and there is one place wherein people can go into that place and have a safe food and hygienic food there. That can be a good idea, but every corporate or every um, this commercial place having a street food would be a bit difficult for other industry as well. I mean, see, there are a lot of restaurants, there are a lot of delivery outlets which are there on commercial places, so that might affect into the commercial parts of corporate places.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Manish. I know you being a restaurateur, you don't want any competition.
No,
That's no, I'm just in a lighter vein.
That's not about competition.
Yeah. Your idea is good, that instead of at every commercial place, it should be in a particular sector. We must have identify a particular place where all the street vendors will be there, so that people can go there. They know where they have to go and they can come. Thank you very much, Mr. Manish, for giving your views. Miss Priyanka, you are expert in marketing, so we cannot talk much about marketing, but I can only say, Miss Priyanka, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Miss Priyanka, we have seen the experiences that in India, when we are talking of India, the food habits are like this, that North Indians prefer South Indian food. And I have seen personally in South India, here now people are preferring North Indian foods. South Indians are very crazy for chola bhatura, for pani puri, for samosas, and North Indians wants to go for idli, dosa, vada, whatnot. Why not, like you are being in the Domino's pizza, although the pizza is going on everywhere. And I still remember that last time you mentioned that you prefer to eat out, not your own pizza at one time. You remember that in the last, in our media conference?
Yeah, I said that the healthier, if we get some healthier, nutritious options, we should always get into that as well, and not just eat, one type of food. Multiple, yeah.
Yes. So my thing is, why not? We can start this type of marketing, that the North Indian foods goes to the South Indian authentic food, and South Indian foods will be developed in North India. Definitely, initially, either by transport or in the training can be given in a proper authentic way, because I can see that even South India is developed the taste of North India, but authentic that recipe is not there. Similarly, in North India, the authentic recipe of South Indian food is not there. Whatsoever we say, because difference of spices, their method, how they are preparing, lots of differences there. So why this thing do you think this type of thing can be developed in India? So all over India, lots of marketing can be done by exchanging of their cuisine from one place to other place. What you say about this, Ms. Priyanka?
Very well said, Dr. Lal, on this particular topic. I was also thinking on similar lines, because in my own category, we do develop regional cuisines, and we do test market a lot of even in the pizza category, which is very internationally acclaimed, and this is something which is almost standardized. We get into regional like your pav bhaji pizza or a dal makhni pizza, stuff like that as well. We have tried in different regions, even non-veg pizzas for the east and the south region. So my thoughts here would be, of course, what the kind of South Indian things which are available in north, like the dosas or idli, are not that um, uh, tasty and not the authentic recipes as we get it in the south, and vice versa. So if we can have branded outlets or branded shops wherein we provide specific skill trainings, those specific spices, specific raw material which is actually used, because it's an amalgamation of training, right raw material, right way of creating specific dishes. So it's a mixture of those important 4 to 5 parameters. So if there are branded outlets, and I know that in Delhi X brand will provide me the most authentic, idli or a dosa, I will definitely go there, and it will always become a rage and a trend at the end of the day. So we'll have to somewhere organize it, as I was also mentioning in in my last discussion. We'll have to somewhere get into really organizing it, legalizing it, and training. So for example, if somebody who's really trained in making a specific type of dosa comes to a northern region and teach 50 people, and then they become a branded outlet, it will always be a success, as compared to I learning it from YouTube and by my own default do
Okay.
something and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Thank
branded
you.
stuff, that's all.
Yeah, branded. But the problem is once it become branded, the cost goes up. Our idea is that it should be cost should be minimal. It's like a street food. Thank you very much, Ms.
Yeah.
Priyanka, for
So just
giving.
training, that's
Yes.
what.
Now I want one suggestion from you to the government. One suggestion, very quickly. Any suggestion
Okay.
which you would like that the Dr. Bose can consider and recommend.
Sure. So, in a line, I would say, as we have only one night market in Indore in the entire India region, which is the Sarafa market, which has the variety of street food, can we just multiply it and bring it to every city and have a Delhi ka food festival and a Maharashtra, Bombay, and a Calcutta and a Gujarat, something like that, and it becomes a tourist hub at the end of the day. That's what I
Okay,
would
thank you very much. Mr. Manish, one suggestion to the government, quickly, please.
So I would say make it all street food vendors the licensed one with the proper space given to them.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Khushbu, one suggestion to you, government.
Yeah, to provide subsidies or low interest loans for the startups, especially for women, like we have in this airport or in this railways and other governmental areas. So that is
Okay, thank you very much. Now I would like to go to Dr. Bose. Dr. Bose, you have heard all the suggestions as well as them. Now your concluding remark, please.
Yeah, I would say, see, I expected a flower from these youngsters, but they have given me a garden. A whole lot of ideas have come. And when it comes from youngsters with confidence, I feel the nation can implement it. I think I'm going to make a mega recommendation to the government. Make India a hunger-free nation. We already have some ingredients for this. We have the Food Security Act is there. We have the Employment Guarantee Scheme is there. Now we have this Rasoi to Rosgar program which has emanated from this discussion, where every kitchen is going to be turned into a workplace with income generation possibilities. Now I think no one in India should starve. So we should declare this nation as a hunger-free state. Then give it to the chosen housewives to provide food in their locality. Not free, but government has to pay. I think a network of institutions, kitchen institutions can come up, which can provide food to the hungry, and government should see that the housewives are compensated suitably for this. I think a new idea for which I owe to the youngsters who spoke here. And Khushbu, don't worry, when we said government has to step in, I fully agree with you. Government should be only a facilitator. Government should not come everywhere like the big brother watching. That government is the best which governs the least. So this is the governmental lesson, philosophy which I have learned from Khushbu. Thank you very much for the wonderful suggestions. I am sure
thank you, sir.
that under the young leadership of people like you, young India will bubble. And Mr. Goel, you know, the average age of India now is 25. The average age of America is 40. The average age of Europe is 46. And the average age of Japan is 47. By 2030, India will be the youngest nation in the world. I am sure that India will bubble. India will come on top of the world. India will conquer the world through its stoic power. Yes, India will conquer the hearts of the world through the stomach. Thank you very much. Let this unleash a food revolution. Yes, there's a green revolution, like the white revolution. Let there be a food revolution. Thank you so much for the enlightening input that has given to me at this stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bose. Rasoi to say Rojgar. Yes, it's something very good if it will be done, which I'm sure with the person like you, if you will recommend, if the government accepts your recommendations, it will be a game changer. It will be like the government has given the Ujjwala Yojnas or like those, then because you are empowering the women, which are more than 48% population in India, and which we require that at least the women, if they are empowered, then the country will proudly say that we are the global leader. Thank you very much. Thank you all for participating today. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well as was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day a new topic. And tomorrow our topic with media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. is role of youth in family bonding. Yes, role of youth in family bonding. And our chief guest is Mr. Samin Nair. He is operations head, Wise Youth for Job Foundation, Hyderabad, along with 7 youth guests who will be exchanging their views. And he is being the chief guest. He will be giving his views. So please do join media conference Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Dr. C.V. Anand Bose. Thank you very much, Ms. Khushbu. Thank you very much, Mr. Manish. And thank you very much, Ms. Priyanka, for joining today the program. And thank you all the viewers for joining today's very, very enlightening